We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Israel targets Rafah. DEI out at MIT. Starliner launched, postponed, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Pro-Hamas protesters in New York City defaced statues honoring American World War I soldiers on Monday. The outdoor bronze monument at the East 67th Street entrance of Central Park depicts members of the 107th United States Infantry in the throes of battle. The sculpture was plastered with stickers stating "Palestine is everywhere" and other pro-Palestinian slogans. At the foot of the statue, they wrote "Gaza and Free Palestine." The Massachusetts Institute of Technology became the first elite institution to scrap diversity, equity, and inclusion statements, also known as DEI, from its faculty hiring process. On Sunday, the school confirmed that it was removing a requirement that mandated all prospective faculty submit a diversity, equity, and inclusion statement during the hiring process. A university spokesperson said that requests for a statement on diversity will no longer be part of applications for any faculty positions at MIT, and added that the decision was made by the school's president, Sally Kornbluth, with the support of the provost, chancellor, and all 6 academic deans. Prior to the change, MIT required candidates applying for faculty positions to submit a statement that demonstrates knowledge of challenges related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as outlining their track record of working with diverse groups of people and how they plan to advance DEI in their position at the school. These statements are no longer required. The maiden crewed flight of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft was scrubbed Monday night, about 2 hours before it was scheduled to launch. The decision was made due to concerns over an oxygen release valve on the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket. It was unclear when the launch may be attempted again, but there are backup dates later this week. "I really commend the team for making that tough call," said Steve Stitch, program manager for NASA's Commercial Crew Program, during a conference call to discuss the scrubbed launch. "Our flight rules called for us to scrub and to take the crew off before we cycled that valve," said ULA CEO Tori Bruno during the press conference. Israel sent tanks into Rafah and took control of the Gaza side of a key crossing to Egypt, securing a strategic corridor as it ramps up preparations for a military offensive in the border city. Israeli military footage showed its tanks entering the Gaza side of the Rafah crossing. The move followed a series of airstrikes against Hamas targets and warnings for civilians in the eastern part of Rafah to evacuate to zones in the west. Israeli and Hamas delegations were set to head to Cairo on Tuesday to discuss Hamas's terms to pause the fighting for an exchange of some of the 128 hostages taken on October 7th and held by Hamas and Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. The terms fell far short of what Israel could accept, Benny Gantz, a member of Israel's war cabinet, said on Monday. Central Intelligence Agency Director William Burns was also expected to return to Cairo from Doha, Qatar, for the talks on Tuesday. Burns is in the region as part of the Biden administration's efforts to mediate a ceasefire deal. Hamas had announced that it agreed to a ceasefire proposal. However, that version of the deal was not one that Israel had ever signed on to, and Israel's war cabinet rejected it, saying it was far from meeting its demands. The Democratic National Committee paid Trump prosecutor Matthew Colangelo thousands of dollars for political consulting in 2018. Colangelo delivered opening statements in the unprecedented criminal trial of former President Trump and currently serves as a top prosecutor with Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's office on the case. Colangelo joined Bragg's office in December 2022 after the resignation of Mark Pomerantz and Carrie Dunn, prosecutors who were investigating Trump and resigned in protest of Bragg's initial unwillingness to indict the former president. Colangelo left a senior role at the Biden Justice Department to join Bragg's team. Bragg afterwards brought charges against the former president in April 2023, raising questions among some in the GOP about alleged politicalization of the case. The House of Representatives is investigating Colangelo and his past work as he prosecutes Trump. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.